Welcome to Division 3 at Watkins, Glen for the first race, kind of, for Division 3. I'm happy to see you guys on this Friday night. It's very weird kind of commentating on a Friday night. Usually I think we've never had a Friday night race, so this one is the first one. So here we are for Division 3. Now Division 3 was made not too long ago, and really it's a very new series, so we're gonna see, I think, a lot of people not really racing this series. So we have currently 4. I think there's actually 5. One of them might be having a little bit of issues, that's why you can't see them. But you can see here, these guys you probably don't know except Taha. Taha is he's one of the moderators in the server, so I believe he's pretty new. And then you got McToasty, Junction. I don't know if he's been in one race, but I think some people might recognize him. Dark Lord Apollo, he hasn't raced. So really the point of Division 3 is just to make sure, like, grab the grass there for Dark Apollo. It's basically kind of showing off. It's like an overfill series. So what I mean by that is basically Division 1, Division 2, they're full right now. Really, I think the only position you can really drive in Division 1 and Division 2 is reserve, and not a lot of people want to drive in reserve. So that's why you're at Division 3. So now everyone can race as a full-time driver in Division 3. Really, there are some limitations. Really, only reserves in Division 1 and Division 2 can race, including people who aren't already in the division. So that's kind of why we're seeing not a lot of people, is because some people are kind of restricted to really who cannot race. So really, you got a lot of people here right now. I think we should have one rejoining. Now the points format is a little bit different. Well, it changed a little bit. So if we have 5 or less people in a race, the points are cut down like half. So the leader usually gets 25 points, but if there's 5 or less people like there is right now, the leader only gets 12.5 points. So this is just to make sure that no one really abuses Division 3, because of how small Division 3 is at the moment. Trust me, Division 1, Division 2, they usually get more than 12 drivers every weekend, or more than 10. So really, Division 3 is kind of like that test series. But guys, welcome to the first stream for the American GT Challenge. And really, it's a pretty interesting season we've been going on. Really, we've been seeing new tracks. This is the first time ever anyone's racing on Watkins Glen. So really, there's a lot of things that have changed. And yeah, there's just a lot of stuff to view this season. We got new drivers. We got, like, now 3 divisions. Really, only 2 are they have a lot of drivers, but Division 3, it's just been boring. So really, I'm excited to kind of see where Division 3 goes from now, but more on the drivers. So we got McToasty, who I don't think has ever raced in AGTC. You got Junction, who I think he is on a Division 2 team at the moment, but I don't think he's ever raced. Dark Lord Apollo, not sure if he's on a team. I'm not sure if he's on a D2 team. Let me see here. Division 2. Yeah, he is. He's actually reserve driver for Bang Nissan Racing. So that's junky and stuff. You got Junction, who's a reserve, and then you got Taha, who I believe is a D1 reserve. He manages a team in Division 1. He actually manages Makion Motorsport. So he's just having a little bit of fun. Really, he's not trying to show off because he already has a team. But nice to see him here. So I think that is everyone in the race. We are still having a bit of issues with one of the drivers having problems joining. But really, Watkins, I'm very excited to see what kind of racing this produces. Really, it's going to be pretty exciting to see what Division 2 and Division 1 have to offer. Because, you know, this track does have long straights, but it also does have technical corners. So, really, it's not like we're racing at like a Daytona oval track. It's more, I think Sector 1 is fully flat out, I believe. I think I know where Sector 1 is, yeah. Yeah, there we go. So, Sector 1 is mostly flat out, except that first corner, of course. But then you got that chicane, which people are flying around. That's cool. We'll actually ride on board the Taha right now to kind of give you that view of really how much these guys, like, go flat out. Like, look at that. That's pretty fast. Now, sadly, I can't show you guys the data for privacy reasons for all the drivers. I might just see the data a little bit so we can actually see what tires these guys are running, but I'll try to memorize what tires are put on each pit stop. But I'm very excited to see what we see, because Daytona we saw soft to hard. Sadly, I couldn't broadcast that due to YouTube kind of being stupid. Don't demonetize me, YouTube, but really, it's gonna be very interesting to see, like, if Division 1 produces good racing or Division 2. We saw pretty equal racing, so I think really, yeah, Daytona we saw soft to hard, and then we saw really some strategies, but mostly people are going from hard to soft to hard. So really, what people are going to use for this race, I don't know. I think we might be looking at maybe a one-stop strategy, soft to hards, like Daytona, but sometimes you do see two stops, but for a 75% race, which is 20 laps, Division 1 is 100%, so that's, I believe, around 45 minutes, depending on what track you race on. Right now, I think McToasty has a 3-second time penalty. Now 2 minutes to go until the race starts, and it's looking pretty stacked, so I'm very excited to see what these guys do. Sorry, but I do not have, like, previous experience, for these drivers. I know a lot of these drivers are new, except Taha, and I believe that is let's call him 1 for now. I'll spectate him. Yep, here's 1. So he's driving, I believe, the Spark Racing Mustang, so I believe he is in D1, I think Spark Racing is. But yeah, 1 is racing, Taha is racing, and yeah, it's looking pretty interesting. Now, if I look in the D1 standings, Taha, yeah, he's in 7th place, but really, to be honest, he's now racing as a reserve, so I think he's more focusing on his team than he is focusing him on the driver. Of course, he's having some fun here in Division 3, but who doesn't want to have fun on a Friday night? Now, Division 2 might be live streamed tomorrow, so really, I'm not sure. I do have some plans, so Division 1 sadly might not have a commentator. Maybe Taha can not commentate, but at least live stream the race, as we are approaching the race currently. 1 minute to go. McToasty with a 3/10 gap lead. And yeah, now we are almost going to start this race. I think everyone might be ready. one, I believe. I'm not sure if he's applying a setup currently. But we got Mick Toasty here, 3/10 in front. Taha right at 2.3, so I don't know if Mick Toasty is a really, really fast driver. I'm not sure. And really, if he dominates this race, I think some eyes are going to be on him, for sure. From some team managers, for sure we'll have some eyes on him. Now, if we look at the roster here, I believe he's already on a D2 team. Is he not? Oh shoot. I think he's on a Division 2 team, so that's kind of sad to see. That he's not already on a D2 team. Really, I think once he wins this race, if he does, I think yeah, we could be seeing some Division 2 teams fight over him. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's a fast driver. So, yeah, now we have 5 people, so it looks like this race, sadly the points will be cut in half. And the reason why we kind of have that is because, so Division 3 is a small series. So I think what Division 2 drivers probably maybe want to do is to just take Division 3, win a race, and then they get their GT Super license, which can be abused like that. Now you do have to win the race, but in this series, there's a lot of there's a lot of fighting over who wants to win. So yeah, it's just, I think we'll definitely see what will happen in this race. We got 5 drivers. Remember that this is a smaller series, so take it with a grain of salt, but I'm very excited to see here what this start will look like for the first time at Watkins Glen. But yeah, let's see here. So it looks like we're just waiting on some drivers here. I think one is starting a lap currently. I believe we should be able to get this. Now a lot of people looks like are starting on the mediums. I'm not sure if that's going to be mediums to hards or mediums to softs. You got Taha on the softs, but will he go on the mediums or hards? I don't know. I think Division 2, I forgot kind of what we saw. I think it was softs to hards, or hards to softs. So I'm very excited to see really what happens, what strategy kind of looks like in this race. McToasty, yep, he started on the softs. It looks like one will be setting his qualifying lap here. Dark Apollo, he will be actually in the pits, I believe, right now. I think he's just waiting for the race to be started. It looks like Junksy will be starting on mediums. Taha might be the only one starting on softs, so one might be starting on softs. I think we might start this right away, right after he sets his lap. But yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see if Taha, he's right now, I believe, last time I checked, he was 2 seconds behind on McToasty. So I'm very interested to see kind of what happens here. Juan just says lap, so I believe we are going to be starting shortly. So, here we go. Oh wait, I do have there we go. I accidentally had the data set up, so that's not something you kind of want to see. I think everyone wants to see it, but maybe not the drivers. So, it looks like. And here we go. Start of the race. So we got 5 drivers here. McToasty starting from pole position. And you can hear the revving of the engines here. And we are, I was doing that animation weirdly. And, oh, already contact with Taha and Junxia. Let me see if I can fix that spectate issue. There we go, we fixed it. That was weird. It was like we were racing with McToasty. McToasty with a pretty good run. He stays out of trouble. Juan in second place. He's gonna, I think he's trying to make a move into the chicane, it looks like. No, I think that Mustang might be a little bit too slow here. He's trying to make that move. But now they're through the first chicane for the first time. McToasty still leading, but Juan, he's really starting to try to invade Juan. But I think he might be starting on the soft tires. Juan going for a move there. On McToasty, he gets an early lead. Now, I think that's pretty important to try to get into lead that quickly. But maybe a little bit too aggressive now. Getting a little swirly there. McToasty now into second place. Now it looks like Taha has a 1 second time penalty. I wonder if Junxia was, I think maybe he didn't start or something. We can see McToasty still in second place, Dark Apollo in third, Taha in fourth, and Junxin in fifth position. So really Juan it looks like he was the faster driver. Now, looks like that Mercedes is pretty quick around here. He is really starting to catch here. You can see the telemetry off the corner. No, it looks like he lost a little bit of time coming out of that final corner. But Juan, could he win this race? Now, I think what a lot of drivers don't know is that points are split in half now that only 5 people are competing. Taha might be making a move on Dark Apollo here. Let's see here, right on board with him. And it looks like Dark Apollo might let him past here. I saw a little bit of brake lights coming from Dark Apollo, so I wonder if he did back off. Now Junxin, 2.5 seconds, I believe last time by it was 4 seconds, so he's starting to catch up. Now McToasty, now he's losing a little bit of time to Juan in front. Really, Junxin, I think we're definitely going to see a bit of fighting going on. Really, I think Dark Apollo, I don't know if he let Taha by in that kind of S's corner, but I'm not sure. I'm not too sure, but Dark Apollo going a little bit wide here. That's going to let Junxin have a massive run on him. Junxin actually having the fastest sectors. I'm not sure if that's actually true or not. So, oh, Dark Apollo gets on the grass a little bit. He gets really loose, but this is just kind of slowing down Junxin, so I think Junxin just wants to get past Dark Lord Apollo. Now, yeah, he's saying fastest sectors. I'm not too sure if that's correct, but really Junxin trying to find a way past Dark Apollo. It might be through his first corner here. A huge run I can already see from Junxin. He's gonna be able to get past him through his first corner, I believe. Here he comes. First corner. No, he's actually gonna back. No, he's gonna make a little bit of contact there. And Dark Apollo goes a little bit off. But Junxin gets into fourth place. Taha in third. Still. Now McToasty still, he's kind of losing time, so I kind of jinxed about McToasty being a lot faster now. I'm trying to look at Taha's telemetry to McToasty, and I'm not sure. I think Juan and Taha both were on the soft tires. I think they're the only guys on the soft tires. That's why you're probably seeing Juan having a huge kind of, I wouldn't say like huge start, but I think the advantage that we saw with soft tires was that start, and you could see Juan had just an amazing lap one. could we be seeing him win this race? I'm not sure. I think it's just that soft tire, he's a lot quicker. Usually the medium tires, I think, are around half a second or just a second off pace. So I'm not sure if that's just, I think we might see his tires falling off here. Let's see, you might just keep an eye on that telemetry, because that's really going to show you. Now Taha not really gaining on McToasty by much here. But Taha did, I don't know, he was part of a lap 1 incident between Junction and himself, so I'm not sure if Junction just didn't start or Taha didn't start. Not too sure, but you can see that gap. I'm not sure if it's decreasing or increasing. It looks like McToasty is definitely gaining on him. But one does have the fastest lap, but I think that's just the benefits of that soft tire. So I wouldn't be saying that one is dominating this race. But we still have the pits to go. It looks like McToasty just gets off the grass a little bit, but you can also see Taha in the background there. He's gaining slowly. I think he gains around 2/10 a lap, which is not much, but everything, really you just have to be, just anything counts. Every second counts. So really, now it looks like Taha might have made a mistake there, because he just lost 6/10. Now that gap between McToasty and Juan looks like it is decreasing a little bit. Yeah, I think Juan, I don't really want to look at his tires, because that's kind of exposing the data. But really those softs go, and I think in this race we're kind of looking at the soft tires lasting around 25% of race distance. I'm not sure if there's like a lot of tire wear around this track, but you can see that he just gained a couple of tenths on one. So, and McToasty still has to go on a soft tire, so I think McToasty might be the faster guy here. You can see really he's starting to catch up. I think Juan had a horrible turn 1, and you're seeing that really he's starting to lose a lot of time. But then that Ford Mustang very quick on the straights, and now he's gaining time. So really, now Taha losing a little bit of time once again. Junction, I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like Junction might just be staying in 4th for now. You can see Taha still 2.4 seconds. McToasty has now decreased that gap to 2 seconds. So, yeah, like I was saying earlier, we're kind of looking at the tires possibly lasting around 6 laps. 6 to 8 laps around here. If the tire wears just like Daytona, which I can't promise, but if that's right, then really Juan is starting to struggle on his tires, because right now you would probably be around 60 to 70% wear right now. McToasty, he's still on the medium tires, so he still has like 7 laps on his tires, around 7 to 9 laps. So really he just needs to apply the soft tires. So I think as now Juan is coming into pit, so like I was saying, he's around 60-70% wear, and I think I was right. So I think what we're going to see for D2 and D1 tomorrow is probably a soft, medium, soft strategy. I'm not sure. I might have to test that out, but now Taha coming to pit, so really all the soft guys I think might be going on the mediums, because could you go on mediums? Because mediums are supposed to last around, oh, they're actually going on the hard tire. Where's Taha gonna go? I wonder what tire he's gonna go on. Now Juan, filing in behind Junction, but Taha going on the hards once again. So, and he gets a 3-second time penalty, so that's really gonna affect him. I think usually when someone gets a 3-second time penalty coming out of the pits, that usually means that they did cross the pit line. Oh, geez, that's going to affect him a lot. So he'll actually have to do more work to try to regain that penalty. Sadly, we cannot reverse penalties. But yeah, it's just McToasty now leading by 15 seconds. Now, I think for McToasty, we're going to see, I think for the medium runners, which I believe is everyone else, they're going to pit around lap 13 to 15. So just be on an eye for that. I don't think we're going to see safety car in this race. Now one is now behind Junction, so I'm not... So we're actually seeing, I think, really different strategies here. So One and Taha, they're using the soft and hard tires, and then Junction, McToasty, and Dark Apollo, they're using the mediums and then probably the soft tires. I don't think the hard tires are really worth it, because once they pit, it's gonna actually be around 7 laps. So actually, I'm not sure. I think for 100% race distance, if it's now Dark Apollo coming, okay, so Dark Apollo is actually on the soft tire. Now which tire will he go on? He'll go on, I think, the hard tires. No, he's going on the softs. I believe that's correct. So he might have a 2-stop strategy. He'll have to make another stop. Oh no, it's the hard tire, sorry. Oh jeez, I was like, holy smokes. We might actually see some really good strategy coming out. Does he cross the pit line? I don't think he did. Okay, it looked like he did for a sec, but Taha did have to serve that penalty, and now is 35 seconds, so that's a lot. Now One did make his way past Junction, it looks like. But McToasty, yeah, I thought he stopped on the track. Luckily he isn't. But now One is on the undercut strategy now, and it looks like really we're seeing 2 different tire compound strategies. So like I was saying before, so actually half and half with what tires people are starting on. I'm not sure, this isn't a high tire wear track, so I think we might be seeing soft to hard tires tomorrow for the D1 race, which is pretty interesting. I don't think soft, medium, softs are a good idea. Maybe we could see it on the future, but usually I think now Junction coming in, so really early, I think he'll definitely have to put on a set of hards. Yeah, that's really early. So he's coming into the pits. I believe he's going to be on the hard tires. Will he? Because soft tires are not going to last you for the rest of the race. And hard tires for Junction. I was very surprised to see him actually pit. That's interesting. But I think if you want to get the optimal tire strategy here, I think really you want to pit, if you're on the mediums, you want to pit around lap 13. I'm not sure why Junction pit that early. That's interesting. But if we look over the grid here, so we've got McToasty in first. I believe he is driving the Mercedes. One in the Ford for Spark Racing. Taha, he I believe is racing in the Mercedes. Junction racing in, I think, the Houdini, I think that's the Houdini Genesis. I believe Dark Apollo in, which car is that? I think that's a Nissan. So we're seeing a lot of strategy. McToasty. Well, let's see the strategy. Those mediums, actually, you can see it there. They're actually lasting. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's looking like he could have lasted a little bit longer. But now here comes One around the pits. This is going to be very close here, and we're going to see Juan coming in first. With Toasty though, with an early stop there, you don't see that. So Juan with the really good undercut there, that's going to put him 7 seconds in front. So that's very interesting. Juan in first place. Taha still trying to recover from his penalty there. And he's 16 seconds. I think everyone has pitted, I believe. Yeah, so that's... Now, if you looked at the tire, I think it's around 75% wear, so he could have lasted a couple more laps, but going off of that, now Mick Toasty, let me see here, let me do a quick check. Yeah, he's definitely on the hards. I was about to check if he was on the soft tires. Oh heck no, was it? He was probably not on the soft tires. Really, yeah, just looking, even though if they pitted on lap 13, the medium runners, I don't think they would have pitted for softs anyway. So, really, that's interesting to see a little bit of strategy come into play. So really, I think the 2 tires only being used in this race. Is that one going slowly? No, that's just the camera angle being stupid. So soft. Yeah, so we had soft to hards, and we saw mediums to hards. So, yeah, still a little bit of tire strategy. But one, I think maybe running soft to hards was actually the better idea. I'm not sure. Now, one is, I think he lost 8 tenths. Now losing a second. Now 9 tenths. Now 8 tenths. So, really, McToasty is still going through that turn 1. Now 7 tenths. So, is McToasty the faster driver? I'm not sure. It looks like 1 for right now is the fastest. But we still have 10 laps to go. And if we look here, that means that the race will end 17 minutes. 17 times 2, that's 34. So, around a 34-minute race. That's not too bad. That's still kind of a sprint race. But D2 used to be like 20 minutes. So that's a huge improvement. We can really see that D2 and 3, they're now pretty interesting with the longer straight, as now you're seeing McToasty go a little bit wide there. Taha now, he's 9 seconds behind. Junction 8.5 seconds. Dark Apollo 16.8. So, it looks like Junction, I don't think he's ever competed in D2. Let me check real quick. So the standings, D2, let me see real quick, still loading. So Junction has never competed in an AGTC race, so that is, look, that's 80% of the drivers have not competed in AGTC before. Actually, never mind, one actually, has competed, so make that 60%. But still, that's pretty interesting that D3 is kind of inviting those drivers in. Now, D3 will sadly probably after the season will probably not happen due to the fact that we might be having tier systems next season, so American and a European tier, which will be very interesting to see really kind of what that looks like. So the European tier will take place 11 to 1 p.m. Central. No, wait. So the European tier, Division 2 and Division 1 will take place 11 p.m. Central to most likely 2 p.m. Central. Those times might change, but it kind of gives you a good idea, and that's Central Standard Time. So for me, that's noon. And for the Europeans, that's 5 o'clock to 8 p.m. So that's exactly where D1 is. That's when D1 is in Central Standard Time, but in a different time zone. So that's pretty interesting. I think that might work for Europeans better than D1. But yeah, 1 is, I think he might be the fastest guy up, and I think the fastest guy on track currently. Now, I was saying like Mick Toasty might be the fastest guy. Now, it looks like he will be second fastest. I'm not sure though. If we look at their lap times, now Mick Toasty did pit a couple laps earlier, so we can't really compare times. But you can see that, yeah, you can't, sadly you can't compete. We'll look at it later in the race. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see really where Mick Toasty compares. Now Taha is actually, so Taha is right now currently in 3rd. Now, we go into the archives and kind of see where he finished, where he kind of usually finishes in Division 1 and Division 2, which should give you an idea of kind of where Mick Toasty is on pace. So, Mick Toasty, wait, 1, nope, we're looking for Taha currently. So we finished 5th and 8th. So 5th and 8th, that is, well, he finished with 5 and 8 points. So that is 5th and 6th, I think. Wait, 5th? Let's see here. No, that's 6th and 8th position. So that's kind of midfield. So if Taha, on average, finishes in 7th place, Mick Toasty, now I don't want to say for certain that Taha is really on average, like he's on, kind of like, he's so concentrated. I think that he's just doing this for fun, plus for some points, but so if, yeah, that means that Mick Toasty might be around 5th or 4th place, kind of in D1, which is, that's a fast driver. That's actually really fast. So I think Mick Toasty, I think he might deserve that D1 full-time spot. But that's the reason why we have D3, is to allow drivers to show off. And really, if we didn't have D3, Mick Toasty might not have been able to really just show off his pace. So that's pretty interesting. Now 1, who's leading right now, he, I believe, finished, he had his first debut race at Daytona last weekend. He finished with 12 points, so that is, let me check real quick, that is 4th position. So really, Mick Toasty might be like 4th, 5th, 6th position, which I think I might be looking to hire him, possibly. So, I never knew that. That's actually really interesting. But it also, you know, it could be on strategy. But that's a fast driver. Mick Toasty is also kind of struggling. So let's see here. Now if we look at his time, we look at his laps here, Mick Toasty's kind of around the high 46s and the low 47s. 1 is around consistently, now he's kind of in that high 46. So really, they're looking, actually, Mick Toasty just gained 8 9/10ths, yeah, 8/10ths that lap, so that's, Mick Toasty might be, yeah, he looks like he might be D1 worthy, which is very interesting. Very, very interesting. If any team managers are watching this, I think they might be looking, oh no! Mick Toasty actually got a little bit loose there. And now 1.5 second time penalty, so that's really, oh shoot, no. Really, that just ruins Mick Toasty's race. But that's interesting. So now 1.5 second time penalty, that kind of screws him. So really, yeah, that's D1 worthy, and I think That's interesting. Now, Mick Toasty not serving that penalty. He's probably going to lose around 2 seconds here. Yup, he has lost 2 seconds. He was 6.6 seconds in front. And then, now he's 8.7. So yeah, 2 seconds lost from that penalty. So now he'll have to work a little bit harder on... Really, yeah, I think... I might be looking to hire him, to be honest, but... That's interesting, that Mick Toasty is that fast. Holy smokes. Alright. Yeah, and that's really why D3 is kind of suggested, was because Mick Toasty, I don't think would have ever been able to kind of show off his pace, and that's very interesting. Very, very interesting to see him like that. Now he is 9 seconds behind, but that's because of his penalty. And he's kind of on the same pace as one. Now, oh! Mick Toasty going a little bit wide there. Hopefully that's not a penalty. I think he might be struggling on those tires. Okay, that doesn't look like it will be a penalty for one. Now he is starting to really struggle on those hard tires. Huh. Now, if we look kind of at what points these guys will be awarded, so one will be awarded, I think, 12.5 points. Mick Toasty, well, this is if the race ended right now, but it's not. It's gonna end in around 6 laps. Mick Toasty earns 9 points. Taha earns, I believe, 2.5. No, not 2.5 points. If I'm correct, that is 7.5 points. And then Junction gets 6 points. Dark Apollo gets 5 points. Oh, Dark Apollo actually off the grass there. Yeah, so Dark Apollo, yeah, 5 points for him. So really, that's just put in there to just prevent people from using Division 3 as just an easier way to get points, because you could take advantage of this. Even if you finished in last place, if you just joined the race and then left, you would have gotten around 10 points. So that's... No, I wouldn't suggest leaving and then rejoining the race, but that's kind of why we have it. Division 1 and Division 2 has it, but I don't think in the near future we will ever have only 5 or less people racing. Hopefully not. I don't want to jinx myself. But yeah, so 5 laps remaining for one here. Really, he might... I think this will be his first quote-unquote win in AGTC. Still not as big as a Division 1 win, but still Division 3. If we're seeing that Mick Toasty and Taha are pretty fast drivers, that's pretty good for one to get some practice. Yeah, just this is practice for the drivers as well, if they want to take it as practice. So really, Friday night, I've never broadcasted on Friday night. I don't think we've ever had a race on Friday night. But now four laps to go for one here. Mick Toasty, now 4 laps to go. Taha now with a 1.5 second time penalty, but Junction, he's actually... Oh! Junction goes off the track there. Hopefully that's not a penalty. That probably is a penalty. It looks like, 5/10, but that's not as bad as Taha. So if I do my math correctly here, it looks like we might see possibly, I think Taha might lose 1.5 seconds. So really unlucky for both of the drivers to get a penalty there. But just, yeah, so Taha, I think they might be struggling on the tires as well. But, you know, track limits are kind of confusing around here, because you actually have to kind of abuse those curbs a lot. It's not Taha, yeah, he went a little bit wide there. Now look at his tires real quick. His tire wear actually doesn't look too bad. Looks like 90%, so maybe just not knowing the track a little bit. But Junction definitely will probably gain. So what, 5.5 seconds now. What will that gap be once they serve their penalties? It looks like, let's just, Junction, he'll get out of the corner here. Yeah, around 1 point, I think that's 1.4, 1.3 seconds. So I was actually kind of correct about that penalty. God, I'm so smart. I'm just using some math here. But, oh, now he's actually losing a lot of time here, I think. Actually, no. So Taha actually lost around 2 seconds in that last sector. Still, Junction, I'm not sure if Junction's, it looks like Junction is kind of on the same pace as Taha. That's why they might not be catching up to each other. Not sure, you can't really assume, since these guys are definitely on, I think they're on different strategies, yeah. I think Junction actually started on the medium tires, Taha on the hard tires. Well, no, Taha started on the soft tires. So, I believe Taha on, I believe, yeah, Worcester hards. Just by probably 3 laps, so. Now, if we look at Mick Toasty, now they, actually, I think around 3 laps, 2.5 laps to go here. McToasty, with, it looks like he did make some mistakes. Now Taha, Juan very consistent. Just look at those times, 47, 47, 47, 47, then he got to 46, and that's when he had a lower tire wear, so it looks like he's really consistent. McToasty, on the other hand, looks like 46, 46, 48. So it looks like he was kind of tire saving, maybe on lap 14, 15. No, I think actually he got penalties. Yeah, I think that's when he actually had that penalty. That's why. But you can actually see that McToasty actually gaining around a second per lap now. I think around a second. So really good for McToasty. But really, oh, did one go off the track? No, it didn't. Jeez, these camera angles freaking me out. So around 1.5 laps remaining. But one doing a really good job is now. Here we are. We're on lap 19. So just a little bit brief info here between the top two. One started on the soft tires and then went on the hard tires. McToasty started on the medium tires and then started on the hard tires. Now, one, I believe, pitted on lap 5. McToasty pitted around, I think, lap 9 to 10. So, really, McToasty, might have been able to stay out a little bit longer. Just I'm not sure. I think really McToasty doing a pretty good job here today as well, because this is his first AGTC race, and really he did a pretty good job. But just it looks like he's a second faster each lap than one. Yeah, it looks like so. Now one on his final lap, McToasty starting his final lap as well. So one who finished 4th place on his season debut last weekend in Division 1, he definitely deserves a Division 1 seat he could possibly take over some full-time spots. I believe he will be getting around 12.5 points. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that is... I'm not... Oh, sure. It might, if we do not round up, I think he might actually have 20... So he's going to have 24.5 points after this, unless I round up, which I think might happen. I'm not sure. We'll have to look into it. But McToasty in second place. But one, sadly, because this was, because only 5 drivers were only able to compete, sadly points are cut in half for old drivers. But if that's, yeah, so one, we might just round up just to make it easier, because no one wants to lose a championship by 0.5 points, if you know what I'm saying. It's just, yeah, so one comes out the final corner. He finished 4th on his debut, and he will win it at Watkins Glen. He also has Division 1 to possibly win. McToasty put on a good fight with one in the earlier stages of the race. He finishes in 2nd. Taha comes, looks like he's going to come off the final corners here. He was a little bit of pressure from Junction behind, but ultimately he will come out probably in third position unless he runs out of fuel, which in a Division 3 race that's not ideal, but he will finish on the last step of the podium. Junction, 4th place for him, first race for him. Dark Apollo, he will be coming through the final sector here. And yeah, that is your top 5. So 1, McToasty, Taha, Junction, Dark Apollo. That will be your 5th top 5. So congrats to all drivers. So that was a very exciting race to watch there. A lot of strategy put in play. I think really if this was D2 last season, it would have just been a sprint race, which would have been kind of nice between the top 2, but really not a lot of strategy involved. Yeah, now Dark Apollo will finish in 5th position, so he'll round off the top 5 there. But yeah, that is your top 5. Thank you guys for watching. That was really awesome to commentate. I had a lot of fun there. But yeah, that is an end race. So thank you guys once again for watching, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow if I'm able to commentate. Hopefully I will be, but I do have some plans that might take over. But I'll see you guys next time.